Welcome to Music Theory Lesson 6, Key Signatures and the Circle of Fifths. In Lesson 5, we learned how to construct major scales using a specific pattern of whole steps and half steps. We also discovered that many major scales require sharps or flats to maintain that pattern. In this lesson, we'll learn how those sharps and flats become key signatures. We'll practice identifying major keys, and we'll explore how all of the major keys are organized using the circle of fifths. A key signature is a group of sharps or flats placed at the beginning of a piece of music. You'll find the key signature immediately after the clef. If the music uses a time signature, the key signature appears between the clef and the time signature. The key signature tells us which notes should be consistently raised or lowered throughout the music. For example, if F sharp appears in the key signature, every F in the music will normally be played as F sharp, even if a sharp symbol is not written beside each individual note. A sharp or flat in the key signature applies to that note name in every octave. This helps keep written music much clearer and easier to read. Without key signatures, composers would need to place sharps or flats beside the same notes over and over again. Instead, the key signature provides this information once at the beginning of each staff. Key signatures also help us recognize the tonal center of the music. The tonal center is the note and chord that feel like home. When we recognize a key signature, we can anticipate which notes will be sharp or flat before we begin playing or singing. This improves our fluency, accuracy, and sight reading. Each major scale follows the same whole step and half step pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. When we construct a major scale, we sometimes need to raise or lower particular notes to create that pattern. Those sharps or flats become the key signature for that scale. C major does not require any sharps or flats, so its key signature is empty. G major requires an F sharp. D major requires two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Those two sharps become the key signature of D major. Instead of memorizing every key signature as a completely separate pattern, we can use the consistent order in which sharps and flats appear. Sharps always appear in the same order: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. This order never changes. If a key signature contains one sharp, it will be F sharp. If it contains two sharps, they will be F sharp and C sharp. A third sharp will always be G sharp, and the pattern continues from there. You may find it helpful to remember the sentence, "Father Charles goes down and ends battle." The first letter of each word gives us the order of sharps. Notice that we never replace the previous sharps. We add the next sharp in the established order. There is a simple method for identifying a major key that contains sharps. First, locate the final sharp in the key signature. Then, move up one semitone or one half step. The note you reach is the name of the major key. In this example, the final sharp is C sharp. One semitone above C sharp is D, so this is the key signature of D major. Let's try one more together. This key signature contains four sharps. The final sharp is D sharp. One semitone above D sharp is E, so the key is E major. Pause the video and identify each major key. For each key signature, find the final sharp and move up one semitone. Pause the video if you need more time. The answers are E major, D major, G major, F sharp major, A major, and B major. If you made an error, check that you used the final sharp shown, not simply the sharp placed highest or lowest on the staff. Flats also appear in a consistent order: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. You may notice that this is the order of sharps in reverse. A common memory sentence is, "Battle ends and down goes Charles' father." Once again, the order never changes. A key signature with one flat must contain B flat. A key signature with two flats contains B flat and E flat. The next flat added will always be A flat. Notice how the flats follow the same order as we increase the number. We use a different method to identify flat keys. Look at the second to last flat in the key signature. That flat gives you the name of the major key. For example, this key signature contains B flat and E flat. The second to last flat is B flat, so the key is B flat major. This key signature contains four flats. The second to last flat is A flat, so the key is A flat major. There is one important exception. If the key signature contains only one flat, there is no second to last flat to examine. A key signature containing one B flat is always F major. This is the only flat key signature that you need to identify as a special case. Now, try the flat key signatures. Remember, look at the second to last flat. If there is only one flat, the key is F major. The answers are A flat major, B flat major, F major, G flat major, E flat major, and D flat major. Understanding key signatures is not simply about naming a group of symbols. A key signature helps you identify the tonal center of a piece. It lets you anticipate sharps or flats before they appear in the music. It improves your sight reading accuracy and helps you understand the harmony. As your theory skills develop, you'll use key signatures to recognize scales, chords, chord progressions, and relationships between different keys. The circle of fifths organizes major keys according to the number of sharps or flats in their key signatures. We begin at the top with C major. C major contains no sharps and no flats. From C major, we can move clockwise through the sharp keys or counterclockwise through the flat keys. When we move clockwise around the circle, each new key begins a perfect fifth above the previous key and adds one sharp. C major has no sharps. G major has one sharp. D major has two sharps. A major has three. E major has four. B major has five. And F sharp major has six sharps. This is why the diagram is called the circle of fifths. Each neighboring key is separated by the interval of a fifth. When we move counterclockwise, each new key adds one flat. C major has no flats. F major has one flat. B flat major has two. E flat major has three. A flat major has four. D flat major has five. And G flat major has six flats. We can think of each counterclockwise movement as going down by a perfect fifth, or up by a perfect fourth. At the bottom of the circle, the sharp and flat sides meet. F sharp and G flat are enharmonic notes. They have different names, but they sound at the same pitch on the piano. For that reason, F sharp major and G flat major occupy the same general position on the circle. F sharp major contains six sharps, while G flat major contains six flats. Before we finish, test your understanding with these 5 questions. Pause the video and answer each one. In this lesson, we learned that key signatures tell us which notes are consistently sharp or flat throughout a piece of music. We learned the fixed order of sharps and flats, practiced identifying major keys, and used the circle of fifths to see how the major keys are connected. Remember, for sharp keys, locate the final sharp and move up one semitone. For flat keys, the second to last flat names the key, with F major as our one flat exception. In Lesson 7, we'll begin exploring natural minor scales and discover how the minor scale pattern differs from the major scales we have studied so far. If you found this lesson helpful, like this video and follow along for the rest of the Music Theory series. You can also find the printable lessons and worksheets in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. Thanks for watching!